BJ Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have Margaret and Mary?
Yes.
Cool.
And the margarita.
All right. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
This is the time to line up behind your team, to support your team, have faith in that team.
It's peaks and valleys. It can't always be good. And as I always tell people, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. But when we do know about
house call, Trevon Diggs pick six. This is coming. They see it. Knocked away. Oh, Gregory. Hurts in trouble. 3 Cowboys wrap him up, make it 4. Micah Parsons is unblockable.
What is going on, Cowboys Nation? It's Wednesday. Y'all know the drill. Pick Six Sports Live is in the building. You got Nick's Professor O, Stargang Beauty, Spoonie. We're here, and we are blessed with a special guest tonight. Mr. Flemlo Raps is in the building. First and foremost, sir, how was your Wednesday going, my friend?
My Wednesday's going pretty good, man. Super productive. Just been getting it in all day, editing, that whole deal. Yep.
Tenfold. Got up, had to go to the doctor, got my leg biopsied. Fun times there. Put a couple stitches in my leg, and then went to work. And then me and Spoonie was doing the space, and now here we are. So ready to get into it. I know Cowboys Nation is very, very. What's the term, Spoon, that we just dealt with over here in the space? On edge. Well, unmute yourself, Spoon. It'll help you unmute. If you unmute, Spoon, we'll be able to hear you.
I apologize. I was getting hyped with the highlights still from the intro. It was pretty accurate. Definitely everybody was on edge. Some of the comments that we made about last week's games, what they see with the team moving forward, a lot of the questions. So the best thing to do is wait and see. Each game will tell us something, So.
Yeah, 10-4. Mary, man, they're out here already in these Twitter streets. It's time to fire the coach. It's time for Sean Payton to come in. Mary, I know you got you're down to your last Modelo. Hopefully it makes it all the way through the show. How you doing this Wednesday?
I'm good. They have not ruined my week. I woke up refreshed on Monday morning. I've been getting a lot of work done. I'm feeling great.
10-4. And Professor O, I know you got the Little League of football going. Your place staying full. How's your Wednesday been, brother?
Oh, it's been great. Closed the big client at work today. Get to rock with my people. So it's exciting times. Football-wise, maybe not so exciting because, there's big aspirations. Went 12-5. Yeah, we got bounced in the first round, but it's okay. It's a new season. Gonna run it back again. We made it 3 quarters, and then our season was 3 quarters of one game. And suddenly the sky is falling, the Chicken Littles, you know how it is. And I was that guy. And then Monday they were like, 8 to 10 weeks. And then Monday afternoon, 6 to 8 weeks. And then it could be back in 2 weeks. And then it was maybe 4 weeks. And now I'm like, he's back when he's back. So
Right.
I'm just looking forward to week 2. I'm gonna, Bill Belichick it. We're on to Cincinnati, and that's where we're at.
There it is. Yeah, that part. For those that don't know our guest, if you've never been cued to his work and what he does, bar none, for me anyways, I'll say it, on YouTube, one of the best storytellers when you want to hear about anybody in the NFL, where they went, maybe they flamed out, they were in college, and what happened. He does incredible work, and y'all heard him already. He's already cutting up videos. He already said he's about to cut up videos already. Can't wait to see what he all day. Can't wait. He says so. We wanted to make sure, and bless the right for those that don't know, and kind of drop a little bit that he did on a guy for us that was near and dear to Cowboys Nation heart. R.I.P. to him, and show a little clip because if you don't know and you ain't followed this guy yet and sub to him, you need to. So I want to drop this clip real quick, and then we're going to get into it.
Bro, this man was impossible for one man to tackle. Sometimes he was impossible for your entire team to tackle.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
And as fans, we got a lot of love for the shifty guys. We do. I love it myself. But there's something inside you, something barbaric, if you will, that is just completely enthralled by a grown man seeing another grown man in his path and not shifting or juking to try to get that guy out of his path or maybe change paths, but just dropping his shoulder and running straight through that man. This my path, bro. Bro. But the question is, when a guy who plays like this retires from the game, what happens next? When throughout your entire career, every obstacle you saw, you just met it head on and tried to run through it. Well, the answer, unfortunately, is you do the exact same thing in retirement. Even if that obstacle is no longer an NFL linebacker, but is now a Nissan Armada. This is what happened to Marion Barber III. Cue the Wayne.
So yeah, if you want more, that's the lead in. And if you haven't seen that clip yet, he does a phenomenal job. I implore everybody to go make sure they go follow him, sub to him, follow him on Twitter, sub to him on YouTube, and go check out the rest of that for sure. Fantastic work there, my guy, as always. But that's not what we're here for. We got week 2 on deck, and we got the Bengals aficionado in here. Some tough sled against the Steelers. You're able to pull it out. So, we know how we are here at Cowboys Nation already. So let me see and what you're looking at and how you feel about Bengals and what happened here and where they are currently, my guy.
Man, well, I'll say real quick, just on Marion Barber, just real fast. That was even though I'm a Bengals fan, like my dad is a Cowboys fan, so that was one of my favorite running backs growing up. I spent a lot of time like watching him over those I think it was only a couple of years really where he was like kind of prominent back, but because I watched every Cowboys game, like after all that time passed, kind of thought back to him and ended up doing the piece, and then of course he ended up passing a few years later, man. So rest in peace to Marion. But as far as the Bengals, bro, in week 1. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question exactly again?
How you feeling after week 1 and what happened and how things broke down?
I didn't feel great. Like when watching week 1, it reminded me way too much of last year. You know what I'm saying? Offense extremely inconsistent. Like a lot of people know the Bengals because of a lot of the marquee players we have and some of the blow up games we've had. They know the team as like this explosive kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like this high powered offense. And we are that, but we are more of a team that's like we fit to whatever the game it kind of needs. And there's a lot of games, including last year, where we run the ball 30, 35 times because they can't protect up front enough to really be able to unleash with Joe. So after watching that Steelers game, we gave up 7 sacks. I thought the offensive line overall was better, but we still couldn't quite run the offense the way that we want to be able to run it without Joe taking a ton of punishment. So I'm not feeling great. No, I'm feeling, a little bit nervous, honestly, just about the season. I think things will come together, but I wasn't happy with what I saw in week 1.
Yeah, go ahead, though.
Yeah, so question for you for those that haven't kept up with the Bengals, what was the biggest offseason move you guys made? Obviously, you made quite a bit of additions on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Had a good draft too, but in your opinion, name 2 or 3 players that you guys added that may help you guys as you try to, avenge last year's Super Bowl
You hit it on
loss.
the head. It was on the offensive line. It's Ted Karras at center, Alex Kappa at guard, and Lyell, because y'all know Lyell at tackle. And like I say, I thought they played pretty well. Like they played okay in last week, but was going against a extremely difficult, defensive line in the first game, and they looked like a team that didn't get no preseason snaps. They looked like a team that really hasn't had any time together other than what you saw last Sunday. And communication wasn't great because of those things, but those guys are still the key acquisitions of the offseason. Easily. Like it's not even, I don't even think it's very close,
Yeah, and that's one of the things with the offensive line too. That's a positional group where continuity is everything. The longer they play together, the more they'll gel. They'll start passing over stunts and things like that. So, week 1, maybe not what you're looking for, but week 4, week 8, week 12, that's where you start seeing that improvement, or at least that's when you're looking for those measured improvements. So appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, hence why I kind of pounded the table for the Cowboys with all the moving pieces offensive line wise. Wanted to see a little preseason work from them. I don't need to see Dak or maybe Zeke, but a little preseason work from them to get that continuity there. You're adding a rookie. Terrence Steele's going to be the first time he's the out the gate starter. Tabiata still need a little bit of work with these guys and starting calling the line protections, not the right guard for us like it was last year. And it got our quarterback hurt, unfortunately. Now Joe Burrow a little bit younger, took some punishment, and he's a tough guy.
Yeah.
And he stood tall and he does what he does there at crunch time.
Yep.
For us and what we're looking at here, at least I am, and Spoonie or Mary, y'all can jump in here as well, is we ran the ball very well early against the Bucs. 10 carries for Zeke, 5.2 yards, right? So things were cooking that way. And then Kellen Moore does what Kellen Moore does at times. I know this is working, but that's not what I want to do. And he moves on. So as I'm looking at the Bengals and saying, okay, well, how can we attack them? What can we do? Especially with Cooper Rush coming in. Well, you should go to the run game. The one thing about Bengals defense I looked against Pittsburgh, though, man, Najee Harris was in check.
Yeah.
Y'all, the run defense for y'all was very good against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We've actually got a pretty solid run defense, man. DJ Reader is a beast in the middle. Like, dude is a dog. And because we play in the AFC North, a lot of people don't realize we kind of built to stop the run. Right. That's why we wasn't worried last year when we had to play against the Titans in the playoff, even though we knew what they was going to present to us, to our offense with their D-line. But we also knew that their offense was going to struggle because they wasn't going to be able to run it as easily as they'd hoped. And so with y'all got like an issue with one of y'all guards, right? Like I had
Connor McGovern's out 2 to 4 weeks now. So it'll be Farniok is what they think, because Peters isn't in. I don't think they're going to push him out there. They're waiting for him to get into football shape because they signed him so late.
Yeah. And so, I think we'll be able to do a pretty good job against the run, honestly. I think the Cowboys' best avenue, if they want to beat the Bengals, is Micah Parsons. That's the dude. The Bengals, everybody knows we've struggled to stop the pass rush, and unfortunately, that's kind of bled over into this year, at least in week 1. Right. And, Micah Parsons is pretty much unstoppable at this point. So he's going to be the Cowboys' best chance. So he needs to be making plays and pretty much speeding Joe up. If he could speed Joe up and have him hang a couple balls up there, or don't step into something, or throw something late, and y'all can create some turnovers, that's going to be what you need to do. That's how the Steelers was able to stay in the game. 5 turnovers. Right. And we're still talking about an overtime game. But because their defense was able to stand tall, they was able to make a game of it. And once you let a team stay in the game, what's going to happen down the stretch,
Big facts.
Yeah. What's the confidence level of, from the Bengals, from myself and the Bengals fans, when you hear Jamar Chase against the Cowboys secondary? What's that confidence level for you?
We feel great about Chase versus the secondary individually. The issue comes once again with the pressure, right? So if you can get the type of pass rush that you want, and Joe can't really kind of sit on those and wait till Chase make his moves and get open, he kind of rush him and give him the ball. That's kind of where you'll have some issues. But honestly, I think Chase, I don't really worry about Chase, man. Like Chase, ever since preseason last year. Ever since that was over, every game I seen Chase in, he gonna always come through. I don't know if y'all saw it, man. He caught like 4 game-winning touchdowns last
Right.
week.
Yeah.
We got, the refs missed one that was a touchdown, and they put us down on the one. Coach didn't challenge it, but he had the crazy one, the one-hand one where he came down and he cut like he had 10 catches and he had 10 first downs. Put it like that. It's like the dude, I'm not worried about him. Not to mention, I know that when him and Diggs matched up in college, that was a little bit of a tough matchup for Diggs. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm giving the Cowboys defense is, I know Diggs can create turnovers. I know he's opportunistic. And so if y'all could speed Joe up and maybe get a couple of bad passes, which is something I usually wouldn't expect from Joe, but he still kind of seemed like he was shaking back, or he kind of a little bit rusty in week 1. So maybe some of that carries over. And I think that's the Cowboys' best avenue for sure.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that worries me is Curse, who's our green dot guy, is going to be out. So now, where's the green dot go? I think it's going to be LVE who's going to end up with the green dot. He's done it before. I don't think they're going to put it on Parsons, but that's a factor into what this defense can bring to the table. Joe Mixon, where's he at physically? Is he good to go?
He's 100. Yeah,
he's 100. Okay,
as far as we know, he's
got
good.
you. So yeah, man, and you kind of saw what our left side of our defense kind of against the run. That's one thing that I'm looking at for the Cowboys. Can we tie that up and be a little bit better? Because if Mixon gets off, man, it doesn't really matter how well we can get to the quarterback. If Mixon gets off, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a long day for us.
What's the story with your long snapper? I saw you guys sign somebody. So what's going on with that?
I was going to bring this up. I didn't want to talk for too long. When you asked me about the most important acquisitions from the offseason, one that nobody would ever guess is we signed out of college the best long snapper in college, and then Cal Adamitis is his name. Didn't make the team because we've had the same long snapper for like 10 years who retained his spot. Cal Adamitis, though, makes it onto the practice squad. Thank God. Long snapper gets hurt last game, which played another role in us, taking those L's. We couldn't get a field goal off at the end. Couldn't even get the damn extra point off. But anyway, he got injured. So we're going to be able to bring in our college free agent long snapper who was top long snapper. So we should be straight with that. And that's one of those acquisitions that you don't think is going to play a role at all. But it just so happened week 1, the starter go down, and we just happen to have a backup. Like who has like a backup long snapper just chilling?
As I always say, adequate NFL depth, and here are the Bengals with adequate NFL depth at the long snapper position. Meanwhile,
what's that? What is
Mary,
that?
meanwhile, we can't even get an adequate guard or a wide receiver. But neither here nor there. I mean, that's
Flemlo,
where we are over here.
That's one of Nick's patented trademarks too, is hashtag special teams matter. That's the type of thing. I mean, if you look at the situation last week for you guys, like had you had a long snapper, overtime ends almost immediately because you had an opportunity, but there was issues getting the snap down. It changes everything. Your kicker's cadence messes up. The holder has to reach up to try to grab a ball that usually is right there. He doesn't have to. It's clockwork. They don't even think about it.
Presence of mind to fall on the ball because we kicked on 3rd down. We could have just went down and we could have re-kicked it, but a lot of stuff happening at one time. But it's funny, man. Like you said, that one small injury that nobody would ever even think about, it affect the game drastically.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mary,
so I have a couple of questions for you, real quick. Mary, you can go ahead.
Oh no, I'm good for now.
Okay,
go ahead, man.
So after week 1, has your opinion on your schedule prediction changed at all for the Bengals? Are you still feeling the same? And what is that? How do you think the Bengals going to do this year?
It hasn't changed as of yet. I picked us to go 12-4. Picked us to win the AFC North and to battle to be in contention for the AFC. Didn't change after week 1, but we got like 3 weeks to, to make me feel like how I felt going in. I was extremely disappointed in week 1. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of understand how everything happened. Burrow had the appendectomy, didn't really get no snaps in camp, and it just looked like it. So my hope is things will come together. We look better in the second half of the latter parts of the game. And I'm hoping that now in week 2, I'm going to see the dominant team that I expected to see. You know what I'm saying? So I expect us to look like a AFC contender in this game. If we go in this game and y'all don't have y'all starting quarterback. If we go in this game and win by like a touchdown, I'm gonna be actually pretty upset, and I might end up changing. my prediction, but right now I'm still strong at 12-4.
Yeah, the Vegas spread is 6.5 currently for what it's worth.
I want to
6.5.
hear, but I mean, honestly, I think it would be higher if the Cowboys weren't at home.
Yeah,
That's fair.
And
Yeah. Usually
losing.
3 points. There's usually a 3-point little move
Yeah.
there when you're at home or not. You know, fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
I mean, when you're starting your season out though with Mitch Trubisky and Cooper Rush as the quarterbacks you're going against, like, you're looking at it as a Bengals fan saying, I feel pretty confident in my team right now.
Absolutely awesome. But here is the problem. The Bengals are a very different team than most teams. For us, I'm gonna say I don't care about the quarterback. There's dudes I really care about, obviously. I care more about the pass rushers. You like, we got Cooper Rush, we got great, but we also have TJ Watt and then Michael Parsons to open the season with a brand new retool line on a team whose primary issue is protecting the quarterback. So to me, that is my concern. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's way more my concern than what the other offense is doing.
So my question is, okay, so you've talked a lot about Bengals offense. I feel like towards the end of the season, your defense kind of started to get into a groove. And y'all, added some pieces on defense this offseason. So what do you think defensively is your strength right now and what you can do to do better this season and improve upon last year?
And I actually love our defense. I don't talk about the defense as much because I just don't have a lot of criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like the defense is, we don't have a whole lot of dudes that just pop way out other than probably like a Trey Hendrickson. But man, we got so many good, solid players in so many places. I love Luke Wilson.
I'm gonna put it out there.
Logan Wilson he's one of those dudes that when I talk about Logan Wilson, I just get called like a Bengals homer. People outside of Cincinnati don't want to hear me talk about Logan Wilson because Logan's amazing. Logan Wilson is a dog. Like DJ Reader in the middle is a dog. Jesse Bates, Awuzie, who we got from y'all, is a beast. Like he's really, I think he's really like taking another step to become a lot more consistent. And Lou Anarumo, our defensive coordinator, he does a damn good job of game planning, especially adjusting, bro. His halftime adjustments are so slept on. Twice last year, we played the Chiefs. They go crazy in the first half. Second half, Patrick Mahomes does nothing.
Right.
Twice. You know what I'm saying? Like within like 3 weeks of each other, one time in the playoffs. So I'm not really concerned about the defense, man. The defense does what the defense does. I think PFF graded them. I think that was the number 1 rated defense for week 1. I mean, it was playing against Mr. Trubisky, to be fair, but they was doing their thing. So I'm not worried about the defense. I think they'll come through. The only thing I need to see from them this week that I didn't see last week, they got to create some turnovers. Super close last week. Didn't quite get the turnovers, but what they gave up, 14 points. And we turned the ball over 5 times. Like, you know what I'm saying?
A big thing.
We put them in the worst possible situation, and they stood tall. So I'm not really worried about the defense, especially with, again, respectfully, Cooper Rush starting at quarterback. The defense going to hold it down. I just need to see what I need to see from the offense because obviously I care about this game, but I care about the season as a whole. And in order for us to go where we need to go, I need the offense to show up. I got full confidence in the defense. They always show up. They showed up last year in the playoffs in every single game. So they're going to show up. We just got to get the O right.
Yeah.
And they drafted Dax Hill, a guy that we spent a lot of time talking about. Like, Flemlo, last year, my guy was Javon Holland. Everybody was on Richie Grant training. Like, I'm telling you, Javon Holland's that guy because he can play multiple positions. He has that position flex. He's, that Swiss Army knife. Those guys are vitally important. Then the Bengals drafted my safety one this year, which was Dax Hill. And you can play him at nickel. He can play outside cornerback. He can play everywhere. So that's a guy, as the season progresses too, you're going to see more and more of him.
Exactly.
So the combination of him and Bates potentially at safety, or the combination of Bates at safety and him at cornerback, it just offers so much for your defense. So,
dude, he didn't get a lot of snaps in week 1. And like you say, as the season goes, I think he'll get more snaps. And that's another kind of credit to my defense, man. First round pick. There's nowhere for him to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's nowhere for him to play exclusively. because at free safety, he could play exclusively. You got Jesse, and then we got one of the best nickel corners too with Mike Hilton.
Right.
So he's got he's got his packages, and he'll be getting in and kind of easing his way into it. But yeah, I'm super excited to see more from Dax because what I saw from him in the preseason, I was really excited about it. And yeah, I think he might be the best. I think he might be the best safety in here, man. You might have been right with having him as your safety one.
10-4. Flem, I know you ain't got a lot of time. I know you got to get up out of here. We appreciate you, brother.
Oh, for sure.
So let me get you 2 questions before you get out of here. Number 1, give us a score for the game Sunday.
All right. So I'm thinking that we probably gonna still be a little bit rough on offense, even though I think we're gonna eventually get it going. Maybe 1 or 2 turnovers to put y'all in good position to get some points. So I'm gonna go 24-13 Bengals.
10-4.
He has us scoring at least 1 touchdown. So that's
That's 10 more points than last week.
A potential turnover. I worry about a potential turn. Micah gonna do something crazy, make a damn turnover. Y'all gonna get great field position and score. Once.
Fair enough. And then the number 2 question I have for you said your dad was a Cowboys fan, and that's why you watched and different things. So I got to know what pivoted you over. He's like, no, I'm gonna go this way.
All right, so we from Mississippi. That's where I grew up at.
Tempo.
And obviously we have no team. So I just thought it was normal. Like my dad was a Cowboys fan. He had Cowboys stuff all through the house, helmets, Emmitt Smith that's his dude. You know. And my uncle was an Eagles fan. My granddad was a Dolphins fan. Like everybody had their team. So I need to pick a team myself. You know what I'm saying? I played receiver in high school. Chad Johnson brings me in. He got the gold teeth. He country as hell. He talked like my cousins. So I'm like, okay, I like this dude. Start messing with him, and before you know it, dang, I think my camera went out, but y'all can still hear me, right?
We got you. Go right ahead, brother.
Okay, cool. So I just stuck with the Bengals, man, and I end up, I went to school. I ended up working in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, around a bunch of Saints fans every day, and all I talk about was the Bengals. So I got in with them early, and before you knew it, I kind of had that emotional attachment to them, and I just been rocking ever since. I'm a loyal dude.
Man, that is what's up, man. I'm always intrigued by, talking to people and how whatever the team they're affiliated with, how they get there, what happens, and what got them to that point. And man, I appreciate you sharing that with us as always. Anything else for Flemlo before he gets out of here? We're going to hold him too long. He's always on the East Coast over there. You want to hold him too long out here because we, over in the Central. Oh, well, at least me and Mary are. The others are gluttons for punishment. Anything else, guys?
No, I'm good.
Thanks for coming, though.
Yeah, appreciate you joining Flemlo. Let everyone know where you can find him. I mean, we've put it out on Twitter multiple times, so if you're following any of us, you can go check them out there. But let them know where they can find you. I know you have a podcast too, and anything you have upcoming.
Yeah, this is my YouTube channel, man. Flemlo Raps. We do the player stories and breakdowns and try to tell it from a empathetic and kind of a creative way. Take a human approach to them, and then also as far as the podcast, we go live every Sunday during the Bengals and Browns games. It's called Sports Therapy, and that's on YouTube as well.
Okay, cool. Man, and there it is. Once again, the red carpet is always here for you, brother. Anytime you want to come back in and anything you ever need from us, man, hit us up, let us know, and we got you back on that side too, brother. Appreciate you and your time. I hope for the best for the Cowboys, but you're probably not wrong.
Y'all didn't give me y'all game prediction though.
We're going to talk.
Nobody gave a score prediction.
We once you leave, we're gonna have a therapy session about Sunday night a little bit, and then we'll kind of work it out. And by the end of the show, we'll be like, all right, so this is kind of where we are.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Flemlo, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much. Have a good night.
All right, y'all too, man. Y'all take it easy.
That part, man. Shout out to Flemlo Raps in the building.
That was great.
Coming through and rocking with us.
For those that don't know, again, 873,000 subscribers, and his videos have been watched 195 million times. That's crazy. So big shout out to him for joining us. Thank you.
I mean, and of course, I was going through over here as we're going through our road of technical stuff that we're trying to do. I was like, well, where's the damn hand clap? I was going to hit the hand clap because I can't hear him, so I got to make sure. I'll hit that. I can't find a hand clap, you know. But I want to hit that while he was here. I was like, where's the hand clap at? And I'm like, oh, there's no applause. Where's the applause? I couldn't find it. So I don't know. It's on my end, but neither here nor
The
there.
lunatic knows, Nick, just so you know, like we tried to give me the soundboard because I love that soundboard. I hit all the buttons and just bam, 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 you know. But when I do, it freezes me. Like I started lagging like crazy. So gotta give it back. We
have to upgrade our infrastructure. Super Chats help that. Selfless plug there. But neither here nor there when it comes to that. Let's rewind. Because I know we had to kind of start a little bit in reverse for our shows. Everybody typically here, but we had to get Flemlo his time in and out, and so we went with the Bengals and talked about them heavily. But let's go ahead and back up to what we normally do. Let's get to the news and notes real quick, guys, on what's going on. Mary, we had we talked about this on a previous show, right? Of man, how do we feel? Here's Micah Parsons. Every what was it, Tuesday or whatever, going to be on Undisputed. And then it didn't happen. And then he kind of said something about it. What you got to say about what happened with that?
Well, I was one of the people that was not very I didn't have a huge emotional reaction to it. I really, obviously don't watch the show, but I didn't think it would impact his ability to do what he does. I feel like it was approved by the team. And then I completely forgot about it, honestly, until it came up that he didn't show up. And I was like, oh, wait, he didn't go on. I'm glad he didn't go on. I think it was a lose-lose situation, though. I think him not going on, obviously that gave them a whole segment. Like, oh, he stood a sub because the Cowboys were bad, blah, blah, blah. But, if he would have went on, there would have been people that said, oh, your QB's injured, your team lost, and you're going on TV and are you really about football type of thing? And so I'm glad he didn't go on for those exact reasons. I don't care what Skip and Shannon think. I don't care what Undisputed thinks. But in general, it's just bad optics for your fan base, for your team, to your teammates. If your QB's injured, you had an awful outing first week of the season at home, and you show up the next morning on TV to promote yourself and talk about the team like everything's great when it's not. So, I'm glad he didn't go.
10-4. Spoonie, did you see what he said?
Yeah, and I love every minute of it. He basically came out and said, "My quarterback is out. He needs to be a leader, and he needs to be a leader in that locker room, and that's the main thing." So when it all boils down to it, I'm glad he didn't go. I don't care what Undisputed thinks about him. There was a couple, I believe last year, Skip Bayless talked about mental health, disrespecting Dak Prescott. So before he, comes out and judging Michael Parsons, look in the mirror of his past, the things that he has said in the past. So kudos to Michael Parsons. He gets it. He gets it. And right now the Dallas Cowboys are their backs against the wall right now. So we need our leader. And he's one of our leaders right there. And that's what leaders does. They make a decision. It's either entertainment or family. And he chose family.
And something you said there too that I didn't like, not from you, but on the Skip side, because he did attack the middle stuff. He talked about it during the Cooper Rush shit today. I saw a little clip that was shared on Twitter. I don't watch the show either. And he kind of talked about some of the mental stuff with Dak or whatever. I'm like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut the B, whatever that B button is over there. I'm sorry. Oh, we got to figure this out on the back end. Just shut up. But yeah, man. 10 toes down with that. You saw it and everything. Right. The kid gets it, right? Like we got a guy second year in, like first game, second year, he just gets it, right?
Right.
No, he 100%. That's the best way you could possibly describe the situation. There's players that play in our impact players, and there's players that play in our team locker room guys. Getting a combination of guys that are impact players that are also locker room guys that get it are hard to find. The best thing I can say about Micah Parsons, everybody knows he's a beast. Everybody knows he's phenomenal. shout out to Chris Long for calling
Yeah, that was a great
calling EA Sports for him, telling him like his rankings at least 10 points too low. But
he's an alien.
he's an alien, yeah. Micah is a culture shifting guy. That is, you can't find that attribute in a draft. You can interview these players, you can talk to their coaches, you can talk to their teammates, you can scout them and watch film, but getting a guy that truly impacts everything about your organization is hard to find. Right. Joe Burrow is that guy for the Bengals, since that's who we're playing. He's that guy with that cool celebrity, smooth. It's just different from what Cincinnati's ever had before. So having a guy like that is a culture shifting guy for the Bengals. You have an elite caliber quarterback. You have a guy that's the locker room leader in the face of your franchise that changes things. That's what Micah is for the Cowboys. I love Dak. I love CeeDee Lamb. I love a lot of our players, and it's not a slight to them, but Micah is the guy on the Cowboys team, bar none. Yeah. So the fact that Micah would have the wherewithal to say, it's just not the right timing. Like, it's going to look really bad for me to go butt heads with Skip and butt heads with Shannon. And even if Shannon took his side as a, that player alum type of thing, vibe that they may have going on, just wasn't the right timing. Like, it looks really bad to go in there and talk Cooper Rush and all the stuff that Skip's been saying all week long. And I don't watch the show. I just see it on my Twitter feed. But Skip's already like, Cooper Rush isn't that much worse than Dak. I think Cooper Rush should get the chance. And what happens if Cooper Rush wins? All that stuff, like, all it could do is, the only thing it could do is make Micah and the Cowboys look bad for Micah to join this week. Now, week from now, next week from now, or any time that he wants to, okay, I'll defer to him for that judgment. But right now, it's just not the right timing. It doesn't make sense to do that. And I think that him doing that shows his leadership and compassion and empathy for his teammates and pulse of the locker room. I know how the locker room feels. I know how the coaching staff feels right now. Right. Me being on ESPN or Fox Sports South or whatever network just doesn't look good. So salute to Micah for having the wherewithal to do that, because a lot of players would not have recognized that, and they would have went because it's a big opportunity. A lot of people tune in for it, and it's a good opportunity for you to build your personal brand. But he said, my personal brand doesn't matter right now. I'm here for my team. So shout out to Micah.
Yeah, big facts, man. And I saw the quote. I shared it, and I was like, Cowboys Nation should embrace this young man and understand that he's built different, and those things carry you a long way. Culture changing is what you said, right? Shifts the culture within the building, and we need more of those kind of guys in-house.
That sets the tone, though. Think about that. Next time a player –
True.
By the way, if you're a player and you're watching, I'm not saying you shouldn't join Pick Six when we ask you to join. I'm just saying when a 4-letter network or something like that happens, maybe that's not the right timing. Follow the leader, right? Mike is the leader, and he's setting the tone and being a good example.
So now, when that person gets that opportunity, what did Micah do? Or what would Micah do? So we can get the little wristbands and get them things rocking. Flipping outside of that, I don't want to get into. I've talked about ad nauseum on the spaces. I think a lot of people have been in those spaces. I know we've had the conversations within Twitter. Stephen Jones coming on Monday, blaming and going and doing and questioning preseason. I don't want to get into all that because it's going to take me down a dark path. I don't want to be dark tonight to a certain extent.
I will volunteer.
Okay.
I'll be the dark one.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait.
We're ready. Go ahead, Mary. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, there it is. I was,
Mary cook.
No, I'm just gonna. I was just, no. Go ahead, keep going.
No, go right ahead because you don't object to go. Hey, look, hold up.
I mean, I just have a lot of, negative things to say. I mean, I have a few. Like, I wrote down a few positive things, but pretty much everything I say tonight is going to be negative. So
no, go ahead, be negative. Hold on, let Mary cook. She don't object to let her go ahead and cook, Mary. That's okay.
I mean, the front office is just ridiculous. They do this after pretty much every loss, when it's very, very clear that, they should have done something different in the beginning. Is they find somebody or somebodies to put it on because they control the airwaves. They're all over 105.3 The Fan. They have a whole media conglomerate that surrounds them, and they, have their front office sources, and it's just ridiculous. No matter what no matter what you believe about the players, the coaches, any of the scouts, any of that, it all starts at the top. And all of these people have switched out, and the only thing that has never switched out is the Joneses. And it's just ridiculous. And it's like, I say it all the time, that it's literally getting to the point where I don't believe anything they say. I don't believe any front office sources. I don't believe what they say about 365 and 24/7 talent acquisition, injuries. He'll be back this day. He'll be back this day. We think it's doing good. Like, it's all BS. The end. Everything is a lie. Everything.
Say it for the people in the back real quick. Say it for the people in the back. Everything
is a lie.
Yeah.
Hey, we need you to just keep cooking for one more second. Just
Well, I mean, she can keep cooking. It ain't gonna matter because, like, I'm scrolling halfway down, and the Law and Order isn't here. Okay,
it is here. You're not in the favorites. Go to favorites on the top right corner.
Right corner. Okay, top right corner. Hold on. There's other. There's upload. There's login. There's categories.
And
what
you know
am I
what's
looking
funny
for?
is, like, my favorite show.
You didn't
one of
log
my
in,
favorite
that's the problem.
shows is Law and Order SVU, and like,
Shit.
if they were in the interrogation room, like, Olivia Benson would be lighting them up. She would know they were
She
lying.
would.
They're lying about everything. It's like ridiculous. It's crazy how they just sit up here and tell the same lies week after week, month after month, year after year. The cap space, everything. I could go on and on and on. Like, it's easier to try to figure out when they tell the truth, because those times are so few and far between. Like, they lie so much. It's like breathing to this family. It's crazy. It's insane.
It is. Thank you. Let's go, Mary.
There. I found. I look. I'm sorry. Okay, dadgummit. I'm doing the best I can over here. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Mary went down the path. Fair enough. For the rest of the news and notes, I just want to kind of get into the injury circumstance. We'll hold that to the end. Basham, 1 to 2 weeks, thigh bruise is where we're at there. Did we have McGovern? Is it, what are we at here? 2 to 4 weeks with him, depending? High ankle
Depending.
sprain?
I
They
don't think
said
it'll
it's
be that
not
long.
as bad.
I don't think it'll be
you
that
know.
long.
Yeah.
I think he'll be back the next week.
Yeah, I'm just always here when you hear high ankle sprain because you just never know. But 2 to 4 is what they're saying.
Yeah, and the thing too is interior offensive linemen, because you can tape that thing up and boot it, and they can typically grind it out. High ankle sprains for skill positions last a lot longer. Interior linemen, like we've seen guard,
Martin
centers,
has
and tackles
done it well. Yeah.
play after 1 week. So I think he'll be back for the Giants game. Just my
10-4.
prediction.
And then so those two. Curse.
Yes, let Mary
2 to 4 weeks. Wait and see with him. And the biggest thing with him is the green dot, Spoonie. The green dot's got to go to somebody else. And we kind of talked about that when Flemlo was here. I think LVE. Does anybody else think anywhere else?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best option.
Here's the issue I have with that.
Okay.
So in training camp, I let me start out by saying this. I think you're right. It will be LVE. Actually, I would bet money you're right. It'll be LVE. My concern / question is the reason Curse made so much sense being the green dot is because of the snap share that he played. He played almost if he was healthy, he played. He didn't leave the field. I don't know that LVE is that guy. Like I kind of want somebody like Micah, for instance, who's going to play more snaps. I understand why they're not doing that. I understand why they're not doing that. But I'm just saying I want a guy who's going to play that high of a snap share to be the green dot. Because what do you do when LVE rotates out for Anthony Barr or who's calling the snaps at that point? Obviously, there's a contingency plan in place. I just don't think the LVE is truly a 90% or more of the snap linebacker.
Right.
But they obviously don't agree with me. So
I mean, put it on Diggs. Just so.
I mean, he played 100% of the snaps, so
yeah, but I know that's what I was going from. But and then of course the big one, ladies and gentlemen, obviously is Dakota Prescott, Dakota Prescott. Okay, so out the gate, right? It was 6 to 8 weeks, and then it kind of went to maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and then Dr. Jerry Jones came out and said 3 games. That's it. He'll be back by game 4. All right, guys.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Jerry Jones to be like the official sponsor of the Cowboys medical staff. WebMD.
Jerry
WebMD. Big announcement. Like it's gonna be like a Tuesday announcement or something next week.
Look. Jerry's going to hit you with the. I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. I mean, that's kind of where it's at. That's kind of where it's at. Bruce, we can't say that. Hold on, real quick. We can't say. Oh, okay,
Sorry,
well, somebody
my bad.
this.
My
Okay,
bad,
we can't say that because I understand, dude. He was healthy last year,
He was.
right? He was healthy his rookie year. I understand the in between to that, but he's healthy this year so far.
Okay.
Now, if it happens again, I mean, so be it. But right now, let's not put the Sean Lee X on him just yet. Let's not do it, Bruce. We're going to need him this year, especially with what's going on the opposite side of the ball. He actually had a good game.
And he had a good game.
Yeah, he
did.
had a good game against the Bucs. Don't do it to him yet, Bruce. Don't do it to him yet.
It's okay.
But yes, when we get over here to Dak, Spoony, I mean, Goff missed what, 12 days? Is that what it was? 12 days he missed?
Yeah, he started 12 days. And keep in mind, he started because they had a playoff game. So he pushed it and admittedly said, I'm good. I'm going to make it work. And if you watch the game or look at the stats, like he didn't have a great game. So you can grind it out and play early. So I want to be clear because a lot of people follow Jane Slater. Shout out to Jane Slater. She has a great show with our girl Aisha Morrison and Jess Rivera. So definitely tune into it, but it's on the Cowboys, the mothership, but it's called Girls Talk, Boys Talk. So quick salute to them. But she had a tweet saying she's hearing an 8 to 10 day recovery. That doesn't mean 8 to 10 days to play. Just want to throw that out there. So when you hear that, that means 8 to 10
I almost
days.
died just then. I almost just died. I'm sorry.
They went from 8 to 10 weeks to 8 to 10 days, and people saw that and went, that's amazing. He'll be back in 2 weeks. Forget 4 weeks or 8 to 6 weeks. No wonder. That means in 8 to 10 days, the bone typically starts to mend on its own. It's not fully healed, but you can start to do rehabilitation at that point. Your grip strength is not fully there, and obviously with your thumb, that's one of the most important appendages you have when you're throwing the football. So he cannot play in 8 to 10 days. It just means he will be on his way to healing in 8 to 10 days. There still has bone density and things like that need to secure themselves. And there's a metal plate there, and when you think of metal, you think, well, that's going to solidify things.
In screws.
It's really thin. It's a very thin piece of metal. It's not like they're putting in like a titanium rod that's going to like secure that thing. This is literally made just to secure and speed up the recovery. So there's no vibranium going in his skin, unfortunately. So he's
adamantium
not
gum.
There's no adamantium either. Yeah, so not 8 to 10 days. But that gives you an idea of within 8 to 10 days, he can start the process of gripping the football, throwing the football, light rehab work. So that time window of 4 to 6 weeks seems a lot more realistic than optimistic when Sunday night that would have been, crazy because we're hearing a 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks. So
cool. So he's back to the Washington game. Bad.
Maybe, yeah. I'm thinking 4 to 5 weeks is probably when he'll be back.
6 weeks.
What you think? What do you think, Spoon? You think 6 still?
6 weeks.
6. Okay. Mary?
I have no expectation whatsoever. I just hope that when he comes back, he's 100% and that this offense can really get on track. And I hope while he's gone that this offense can get on track. So we'll see.
Here's what I think. I think how many games did the Cowboys win is how long he'll be out.
Exactly.
If the Cowboys, let's say the Cowboys go win against the Bengals. Let's just say, let's walk that path. All of a sudden, that recovery moves back. If they beat the Giants, guess what? That recovery is going to move back. But even like spinning backwards, let's say lose to the Bengals, but they beat the Giants in Washington, and they beat Washington, the Giants in Washington. It'll get pushed back. Now, if they lose 2 straight, I'm willing to take bets that we're going to see him against Washington if they lose the next 2. But if they find a way to win, if they split the next 2, then it turns into, well, can you beat Washington? If they do, then guess what? They're going to push it back further until they get to the certain point where he's actually healthy enough to go and do. So I think a lot of it's going to really depend on, because they've set the timetable anywhere from, at the very beginning, some people said 10 weeks, right? From 10 weeks to 2 weeks, basically is what we've heard. What it tells me in general is, where are the Cowboys at? Have they won some games? Have they not won some games? And depending on that is when we're going to see him. If they're 0-3, you better bet he's going to be out there game 4.
Knicks, how many weeks did they say Neville Gallimore was going to be out when he got hurt in preseason?
Was it 3 to 5? Right?
How many weeks did he miss? Like 10?
10?
Like
Something
2
like
months.
that? Okay.
2 months.
He missed most of the season.
Yeah.
So basically, the rule of thumb, despite how optimistic I feel in looking at the precedents of other players, because Ben Roethlisberger had a similar injury, Drew Brees had a similar injury, Drew missed 5 weeks. We talked about Goff already missing 12 days. The precedence is there. When the Cowboys staff tells you Dak can play early, I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm just saying there's probably some intent on why they're telling you that. Keep in mind, the same week we heard Jaron Kearse today. The report was, he looked better than what we expected. We think he might be back a little bit sooner.
Hey, no
Connor
breaks.
McGovern.
Those
Connor
ticket
McGovern.
prices plummeted. That's what happened.
Connor McGovern. We heard, the high ankle sprain wasn't quite as bad as we thought. He'll be back a little bit sooner. Like the injury window, whatever you hear, the rule of thumb, despite how optimistic you may feel about it, add 1 to 2 weeks, and you're probably closer to what it will actually be. So when they say 3 to 4 weeks and they're not putting him on IR for whatever reason because they think he'll be back, like Nick's mentioned, schedule and record dictates things, but probably looking more at the 5 to 6 week range than the 3 to 4 weeks.
Right. So again, none of us are doctors, just like Jerry. So we'll obviously is privy to more information than we are from the team doctors and whatnot, and we'll kind of wait and see. Mary, the tickets have plummeted. Fair.
Yeah, and I realize they already have their money. Like, I know that people are always like, they already have their money anyway, but I'm like, they're part of SeatGeek. They are looking at how those tickets are trending. That is part of their job and their marketing. They see how tickets are trending. They do not want to look on SeatGeek and see the tickets are going for as low as $34. They don't want to see that.
That's
and
fair.
I know part of the reason is even before Dak was injured, even if Dak was healthy, I think those tickets would have plummeted based on the performance of the team. Like, they are watching how that stuff trends, and they don't have a Facebook or Twitter or whatever, but they see comments.
They have somebody that does, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They know the pulse of this fan base. So they go out there and they say optimistic things because they're like, and they might really believe them, but a part of the reason why they want to believe them is because they want to believe that they're going to get us back into the on the bandwagon again.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
It's funny, though, to think about it on the sideline. If you watch, I don't recommend you watch that film back. It's super ugly. But if you watch it, Dak comes off the field. First person to greet him, aside from the coaches, is a team doctor rocking a Cowboys hat who just looks at his thumb for like a second. Is like, yep, let's go get x-rays on that. Like, it's such a Cowboys thing. Like, they may as well just give this guy some chaps, some boots and spurs. Just make him like the rowdy of the medical staff and just get him out there on the sideline for even more advertising because it's just kind of crazy.
Hey, I will say real quick, we do have 4 other people are not on YouTube watching the channel. Shameless plug here. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. Come over here to Pick 6 Sports on YouTube. Come over, hit the sub, come in here and say, I switched over and I'm on YouTube. I'm going to line up the chat for you, man. Come on over this way. What was the killing more as a doctor? Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lord.
Lord.
I'm not touching that. But we'll wrap that up, and look, to be determined. We have other fish to cook, more things to fry here outside of that. And obviously, something we'll be talking about heavily over the next couple of weeks here, depending on what's the progress of Dak Prescott and what's going on and moving forward. Outside of news and notes, before I get to this point, I want to remind everybody, we are giving away 2 hats tonight from our guy, the Lunatic. I told y'all, no matter what, win, lose, or draw, 2 hats, our guys giving them away. You get the embroidered, whatever signature you want on the side of them, everything. We're giving away 2 hats tonight, for sure. We'll ask a question. First one that pops up in our feed with the correct answer wins said hats. So we're giving away 2 via our guy, the Lunatic, that's in the building. And I'm giving you the good because I'm giving this the bad now. We're going to come here real quick. We're going to come in here real close and we're going to hug. We're just going to hug this thing out. Me, Spoonie, Mary was out there a lot. 10. Meadow should have been there. I know you couldn't be. It's fine. Okay. All right. But here we are. And we're going to hug out this Sunday night game. And we're going to flush it once and for all. We got to flush it. We got to do it. We got to do it, guys. Swoon? Swoon, you got to take the medicine.
Yeah.
Swoon, you got to take the medicine.
Man. Listen, I got a lot. Listen, when you get a sermon in my own house, my wife looking at me like, "What happened?" And I'm breaking off, just repeating, talking to the mirror like, X, Y, and Z. There is something. Me and BJ had an adventure in that hotel.
No homo. Pause.
Wait,
you know what? I'm sorry. I'll leave that alone. I'm sorry, BJ. It was a long night. I just gotta say that.
No, you're not helping this thing.
Yeah,
you know what? It was okay. Nothing happened. We'll leave it like that.
Hold on, wait.
Je reviendrai.
Whatever. I don't know. I can't hear these pauses, but I'm pressing all the look. Whatever these are, I'm pressing them. Pause.
I tell you, I'll say this. I'll say this. I'll say this part here. We ran a 40 time like no other. Big guys. Dak would appreciate it on the offensive line. I'll just leave it like that. I'm sorry. Just say that part. I'll leave it like that. But
what is happening right now?
Y'all ran a 40?
Tony, you are so lucky I don't have access to the soundboard because I would be lighting it up right now.
I don't know.
I don't
know. Okay, I don't know.
You know what? You're right. We don't know.
No. Ain't no we.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
I'm dying. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Listen, it was a long night.
Bro, stop saying long night.
Stop.
Please.
The game. That's what I'm talking about. The game. The game was a long night.
Say long night.
Oh God.
But listen, I'll say this, man. We can't. I don't blame any Cowboys fan for not feeling how they feeling today. And it's gonna be hard to swallow it because we all understand next week. It might repeat itself again and again. It's like. Listen, we're not all scouts, but a lot of them has a great mind. So it's gonna be a crazy ride. That's all I gotta say. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you.
Nick's not having an adventure in the hotel room. It's a long night. It's a crazy ride.
No. It was in the lobby. No,
In the lobby. Okay. That changes things completely. So.
Whew, okay, that was a good one. I needed that.
I don't even know where we're at now.
Game recap.
I'm just gonna tell y'all whatever Spoon's talking about. That wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I'm just keeping the buck and just let y'all know right now.
We heard about it.
Yeah, whatever Spoon was on, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. That's all I can tell you.
This is a valid question right now. How many Cowboyritas did Spoonie buy you that night?
No.
None. But I definitely look. The rule of thumb is always 2. 1 for the first half, 1 for the second half.
Okay.
But I bought my own. Y'all saw the picture.
No. We can't leave off the hook. I didn't have any Cowboyrita because Miss Mary Margarita right next to me.
Oh,
she's the one. Yeah, yes. She's the one who came with a certain type of bottle, and it went left from there.
So first,
this is why Spoonie was on a trip that I wasn't a part of.
Let's be clear. Nick's made it clear.
I don't remember the trip.
I don't know what Spoonie's talking about. I just need you to know.
I don't know. I don't remember no more. It just after my.
So first off, I did start the tequila thing, but by about the time it was almost done, Spoonie was walking around cradling it. So it's not my fault.
I'm just going to say, I don't know what this is going to be, but this is how I feel because it says FML. Y'all have to let me know if this works or not.
Fuck my life.
It worked. It worked. We're not getting monetized on this one, but it worked.
Okay, all right, fair. I don't know where it was at because I can't hear it. I just can't hear it.
Oh,
but again, I'm not pressing the board no more. And Spoonie is definitely not talking no more about that. whatsoever. Okay, I don't like. Man, this went somewhere else.
No,
The game, guys. Professor O.
Yeah, it was
this
a
game Sunday,
game.
and you wasn't there, so thank God.
Whew. Yeah,
I need you
wanted
guys
my
to
money
understand
back so
something.
bad.
I already told Nix and Spoonie they are banned from going to the games together because they were at the game together for the 49ers game. I'm not
We
saying
was there
that
for
it's
the Eagles
them.
game. We was there for
No,
the
that
Eagles
doesn't matter
game.
because we're going with recent game activity. You were there for the 49ers game.
I was there for the Atlanta game.
It
Personally,
doesn't matter.
solo.
This is the past. We're talking about
Recent.
the
This is
last two
recent
games.
game
There's a
activity.
trend happening, and it's Nix and Spoonie together. I don't know what it is
whoa,
about
whoa,
these
whoa,
two
whoa.
guys.
What the playoff? Wait, hold on, wait, stop, because those two games don't just throw me and Spoonie in there. There's a particular Mary that was there, and a particular Jay Tuck that was there.
Yeah,
So
but
Mary-
I took different people. I took different people to both.
You didn't bring the same.
Mary-
Well, it does. Oh no, you was there
Jay
though.
Tuck-
It doesn't matter.
No, Mary, J Tuck, and Spoonie are all banned from going to games together. No, maybe the three of you can go.
Okay,
but we can't.
All right.
No
Well,
more of the four.
Spoonie has to tell another story now because Lunatic dropped $2.
Another story?
I don't look. Nothing. Never
Well,
mind.
he wasted tequila on my Micah jersey.
Yes,
Whoa,
you know
that's a
what?
story?
Yes.
Tell us
So what
about that.
happened was we was doing this game, and I was
What
pouring
happened
the
was
drinks.
we're off to a good start.
And what happened was, by mistake, I got heavy-handed, and I spilled some of the drink, well, a lot of the drink on her jersey and everything. We was all
Maybe
messed up.
She should have just drank it though.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. And I'm gonna let you know something. Don't ever let J Tuck pour you a
Good
drink.
point.
Don't ever
What
let
happened?
J Tuck pour you a drink.
Why?
The man's heavy-handed, too heavy-handed. Listen, this is not weights. You don't
See, Spoon. Look, Spoon. See this bull crap here.
TC, come on, come on, you already know.
I'm never gonna live this down now.
No. We was all good. We was all good for what we.
It was a great
we was all good.
tailgate. We
Yeah,
all had
great
a great
The
tailgate.
best
time.
part of
Time.
Sunday. Definitely the best part of Sunday. Got to meet a lot of great people.
Yes.
First and foremost, don't blow no kisses out here. Okay, KJ 24. Need you ease up there, fella. but again, as we were coming in and hugging out this game before everything else was going around.
Yeah, let's talk football. Let's talk football.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
All right, guys, that's the end of the show.
Where we-
I'll talk to y'all.
Those
next
Cowboys,
week.
no, they're not going to any other games because we've officially banned them from the channel and all going
No,
together.
I
They may
mean,
go
I'm really-
individually.
I'm really not
Actually,
going.
Spoonie is going to the Cowboys-Giants game in New York, right, Spoonie?
Yeah, well, today I went to the gym and some Giant fans got on me.
You got
and-
cooked.
Yeah, I got cooked. Yeah, very bad, very bad. And they told me I shouldn't attend. And I know how I feel about it. I'm gonna end up going, and especially if the Cowboys win on Sunday, I'm gonna have to go all out and just be that warrior fan out there and just hopefully rally the troops and we have a Cinderella story and win that game. And yeah, I'm going.
I need you to know this, Spoonie. You can tell your friends. I'm in a group chat. Nick says too on Twitter. It has like 70 or so Giants content creators. I asked them Sunday before the game. This is like early in the morning. We'll say 9, 10 a.m., whatever. And I said, all right, pencils down, put it in ink right now. What is the Giants record going to be this year? And I added up all of them because I'm a dork and that's what I do. I wanted to get a range to get a feel for what they all thought. I added up their wins, I added up the losses, and I averaged it out. Giants Twitter community, Giants YouTube community, really cool dudes, but they thought the Giants were going to win 5 games this year. So I don't care what they try to tell you right now. Don't care what they try to tell you right now. Even with Dak being out, the Cowboys will win more than 5 games this year. Especially knowing that it's not going to be that long version of the timeline of 10 weeks. If Dak's out for 4 or 5 weeks, the Cowboys will win more games than what the Giants content creators predicted they'll win this year. So next time they cook you, just make sure they know the guys they listen to don't buy in the team either.
Right.
They're already talking every single college game. Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis. They're talking quarterbacks right now. They're not talking about playoff runs or anything like that. So
Stand for it.
Interesting.
The game in general, though, really quick condensed version, so we can move forward. Man, it just really sucks for me being in the building and the things that we talked about a lot and what we were worried about. We were living on the hope factor of maybe this thing works out, and then literally it just imploded on everything that we talked about during preseason, Oxnard, and we saw it, and we kind of pounded the table like it's not good enough. It's not good enough. But hey, they're believing in this, and this is what's going to happen. And Mary and we kind of specifically said together that they're not protecting Dak, and that's your best asset. They're going to get him hurt. Now, we didn't know it's going to be this quickly, but it's just so amazing to me. And the frustrating thing I think from Cowboys is just very frustrated is just simply this. I don't know another team that has a paid quarterback that you would consider a top 10 quarterback that doesn't protect their best asset. And I talked about this last night. Look, I didn't record my space last night. I went really left on my space last night. When I know I'm going to go left, I never record them. Now somebody might catch me and do something, whatever. But I went left, and I'm just like, it's asinine on your everyday level. Everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's here on the group, your best asset, you protect it. Yeah. Like, bro, like, what are we talking about? Whatever you have money, I ain't talking about your husband, your wife, or kids. That's different. I'm talking about whatever your asset is that generates you money and does things for you. You make sure it's protected on every level. And they said they took a team offensively last year that led the league in points, no matter the in-betweens or whatever happened. But that's just what it was, right? And said, and this is the thing that frustrates me the most. They stripped this offense down for no reason other than the simple fact that they wanted to. They didn't have to. They didn't. There wasn't like, oh, we don't have enough money. We don't have draft picks. We don't blah, blah, blah. Like, there was no reason for them to strip this offense down. None. And not only did they strip it down, their third round pick was a healthy scratch for an undrafted free agent rookie. What are we talking about? And that's the thing for me that frustrates me the most. Oh, almost dropped the F-bomb. That frustrates me the most.
Go ahead. We already dropped the soundbite. Just let it out, Nix.
Man, fuck Steven. I'm sorry. It's on him. Right. Everybody wants to talk about Mike McCarthy. And
that's what I'm saying.
We move all these pieces around and Kellen Moore or this guy or that. No, it's on fucking Steven. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's on him. It starts and ends with him. He chose to move this shit on. That's what he did. And this is the fucking team he put together. He did this.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear him on Monday come here and say, oh, well, maybe we should have did some preseason stats. I don't know all of a sudden. You know what I haven't heard from them? From Jason Garrett to now? They never said nothing about Kellen Moore. Not once have they said anything about Kellen Moore.
Nope.
What are we talking about here? Sorry.
Yeah,
let it out. Let it. Listen, you know what? Let it out.
Think about what Nick's is saying right now, though. Think about what Nick's is saying right now. So, if you've ever been in a management role ever at any company or at any point in your life, you're taught all the time. When your team does well, give them the praise. When your team struggles, take the blame. That's what good managers do. When a coach has a bad game or the team has a bad game, the coach's job is to take that blame and say, I didn't prepare them enough. They weren't ready, and that's my fault. Our front office doesn't do that. Jerry Jones, as recently as today, said, we think we've assembled a good roster. We think we've done a good job. We think that we have the right players in-house. And that's not and the reason I'm bringing this up is this is not I'm doing this to show confidence in my team. This is it's not my fault. I'm the GM. Exactly. I'm the owner. I'm the vice president. I'm the president. I'm the CEO. All the titles he has, whatever. I did my job. I expected the players to step up. I'm disappointed in them. Bro, you made these decisions. You and Steven Jones said, got so much pie. And it's interesting because in the chat, our guy mentioned earlier saying Dave Hellman brought up that they're sabotaging Dak. I don't think you're wrong in that because a lot of us have said that before the season started because he's already, and when I say Stephen Jones has already done that. He's already said, we can't make these moves because we pay our quarterback. When asked a direct question about Zeke and his contract and longevity and what his future looks like on the team, he immediately went back to Dak Prescott. When you pay your quarterback, you have to make sacrifices on the team. You have to make roster decisions and all these things. They've already sabotaged Dak. I'm not saying that they don't want Dak to succeed. I'm just saying they're already throwing the precedents out there and already establishing that media soundbite that if things go wrong, it's because the Cowboys couldn't make moves. They were handicapped by the cap. Couldn't make any decisions because they paid their quarterback. Doesn't matter that other teams pay their quarterbacks. That's the message that the front office has set for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys.
And that's exactly why I don't buy what people told Brian Broaddus. I think it's very much so. Stephen Jones and them feeding things to the local media that 105.3 The Fan to come out here and say, so whenever they move on, they'll be like, oh, well, the fans will be like, oh, well, he doesn't know the offense. He's been here for 3 years. What is he doing? Man, I'm so tired of the clown shit, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to be this guy. I really don't. I really believe in positive vibes and being positive and pushing forward and building things up. But, man, at a certain point, you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. You just can't. I've done this for too long. I did content before I was doing content, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, I did draft boards and everything 10 years before I started doing this on this side. I did an NFL cast before I came over here and did this as a lifelong Cowboys fan. I mean, literally, it's tatted on me. It's tatted on me for life. Like, you can't lie to me. I'm a grown man. I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't add up. Like, miss me with the dumb stuff, and I'm tired of it. Like, I'm so frustrated because, man, we have sit here and wasted, go back from 2008 to now, and look at the people that we have wasted in this league, right? We're talking about the Romos of the world, which you lucked up on anyways as an undrafted guy. Look, you lost the Wittens of the world, the Wares of the world, Des Bryants of the world. I mean, you go up and down the list, and now here we are 7 years into Dak and Zeke. Now, guess what? Martin, end of his career. His wife's ready for him to retire right now. Tyron Smith can't stay healthy. You done wasted those guys too. So what are we doing here? Meanwhile, you out here on Monday night talking about, well, maybe we should do some preseason games. No,
that's
because
it.
Guess what? They played no preseason last year. Walked in the temple threw for 400 damn yards. Hey, did Micah Parsons play preseason? How'd he do? Like, come on. Like, it's your fault, bro. Just own it. That's why I always say he's the dadgum trust fund kid. He's here to protect the money.
Born on third base. A
lot of people wanted Jerry up out of here. When Jerry checks and punches the clock and leaves, it'll be worse. I guarantee it. I made the tweet earlier this offseason, and I said the only person going to save us, and I put a picture up there of Charlotte.
Yeah.
If she don't take over, this thing will go worse. I guarantee it. Book it. I'm through with my rant, man. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done now.
I have a question for you real quick. So our guy Bruce got the toxic juice had this comment right here, and I put it back up for a reason. Stephen blamed McCarthy. So Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones had a sleepover with McCarthy before hiring him. Jerry Jones, as recently as last week, said, if there was another coach out there that could win us a Super Bowl, aside from Mike McCarthy, I would go get them. That's how much they've invested in Mike McCarthy. Stephen Jones, our cap guy, invested in Dak Prescott. He was the one that came up with the contract decisions to not sign him the year before, to let him play it out on the franchise tag, then cost the team even more money, even more pie allocated to Dak because of his decision-making. Right? Stephen Jones also said, we can't sign guys because the next person on that comment because of CeeDee Lamb, because we have to worry about CeeDee Lamb in the future, a guy that Will McClay, the staff, rightfully drafted. I like CeeDee Lamb. I'm not out on him after last week, but he's also said CeeDee Lamb is the guy that we have to invest money into in the future. He also said wide receivers are part of the blame, right? Wide receivers, the same group that we had a number one receiver for and said, we don't need you anymore. We'll take a fifth and a swap of six because we like what we have in-house. We're not going to sign a free agent. or anybody when James Washington, the only free agent we signed, a wide receiver, got hurt because we like the guys in house.
Right.
Then when Dennis Houston, an undrafted free agent that I don't think would have made a 53-man roster of any other team in the league, but is your number 3 receiver over your 3rd round pick, can't get separation and is like 68th or whatever it was in the league in yards per separation, can't get open and complete passes, then suddenly it's those receivers' fault. Bro, that's your fault. Am I wrong, Spoony? Like, what am I missing here?
Your fault.
No, you're 100% correct. It's like I said in the space, there's no accountability at all. We seen Kellen Moore throw Terry Steele out, basically called him out about his penalties. But who does Kellen Moore answer to? Who does Stephen Jones answer to? Jerry Jones is the bulletproof for all of them when it comes to the media. He takes all the shots. He protects them. But end of the day, I don't have a problem with you protecting them. When it comes to in-house, where's the accountability at? That's the thing about it. I have a feeling that, again, we had Jesse Holly on the show just last month, and the question I asked him about, with the lack of urgency from the front office trying to improve this team was Mike McCarthy on the hot seat, and Jesse Holly came out and said he's no longer here. Sean Payton is the real thing. It's coming. So my whole thing is this, and I'm with BJ next. It is a waste of time. We are wasting talent. At the same time, you got guys like Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb we got lucky with in the NFL draft. Michael Parsons, we got lucky with that. Diggs, we got lucky with that as well. We are taking advantage of their time. So when that contract conversation comes, do they want to be here? Do they want to stay here? We've heard things about Cedric Wilson ran off to Miami. He didn't even think twice of a conversation of trying to stay with Dallas. So, these players are seeing what's going on a lot more than what we're hearing. And it's going to, Zeke called out Kellen Moore today. We got to run the ball more. I don't know why we're stopping. I want to hear Mike McCarthy say that. I want to hear Jerry Stevens say that. The only one who's getting all the licks here is Mike McCarthy. My whole thing wasn't that sleepover. I hope Mike McCarthy would have some nice coffee, some nice Danish, and you understood what's at stake here. You're pretty much. I know I got chewed up on Twitter today. A fan said something I shouldn't say, but I don't care. He's a puppet. You are what you are. They're pulling your strings. They're telling you what to say. You speak your mind. My whole thing is this: if this is your job, go out fighting for your job. You're going out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This past Sunday, and we all spoke about it at Lock 10. The good times. We all spoke. We all came out and said
how much of the said tequila bottle was passed around.
It was still on top. It was still on top at the time.
No, it was gone.
Okay, it was gone.
Oh yeah, and so it
was gone. You got me.
So was my half-gallon Crown Royal. It was all gone.
We all felt. I'm like, the last time we came out the stadium was on
playoff
Sunday Night Football with the 49ers. We with this repeat again. It was worse. I'm not taking into detail what happened after the game, but what I'm saying is, it's just
please don't.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
I know. Do you say it like that?
Yeah, nothing happened. So, like I said, we
nothing on this adventure was crazy or wild.
No, nothing.
It was a very short night. We went to sleep.
Yeah,
that was it.
It was just
shush
bad leaving that stadium, man.
Mary, let me ask you a question. So before we move into the Bengals week, Mary, I have a question for you. So Mary is a very educated lady. Mary is a lawyer, attorney. Which one are you, Mary? I'm sorry.
I mean, they're interchangeable.
Are they the same?
But technically interchangeable, but
what do you call yourself?
An attorney. Technically, if you pass the bar, you're an attorney. If you have just gone to law school, you're a lawyer. But they're
she said get it straight.
But people use them.
So listen here, Professor. Oh, let me teach you something.
People use them interchangeably, so it's okay. I answered both.
All right, cool. So Mariella is an attorney. She's a very, very educated, thoughtful, analytical person. That's the way her mind works. Let me ask you this, Mary. As a Cowboys fan, she is. Yeah, I yes. So the question for Mary is, as a Cowboys fan and an attorney, when you hear the front office tell you that Mike McCarthy is the coach that they think they can win a Super Bowl with, there's nobody else they could win a Super Bowl with but him. Kellen Moore is a vital part of our organization. We think he could be a head coach, and we're lucky to have him on our staff. But Dak Prescott, we can't make moves because of him. When the front office is telling you over and over and over again, Mike McCarthy, check, we believe in him. Kellen Moore, check, we believe in him. Dak Prescott, he's our guy, but because of him, we can't do things. What does that tell you, Mary? What do you think about that?
It tells me, well, first off, I think, they're just setting themselves up for when they don't do things in free agency to have an explanation like, this is the guy we're blaming for this specific thing. It's just like the thing with McCarthy where, they couldn't wait to put that front office source out that didn't know the playbook. That's why he can't call plays. It's like they're going to do things. Kellen is their guy. He's their number one guy. He's the one guy pretty much that they have never thrown under the bus for any reason ever. And so I think it's just setting it up. It's like, well, Kellen's our guy. We trust him. So he's good. Mike McCarthy, Jerry has said it, but Steven doesn't really say it as much. He doesn't really say it as much. He, that's the front office source and he doesn't know the playbook. What they're doing is protecting their guy. They're protecting Kellen Moore at all costs. So when the offense doesn't work, it's all Dak's fault because you know what? He should just be able to elevate the guy off the street. And he doesn't need protection. And if he needs all that stuff, then, maybe he's not who we thought he was. And we got to worry about paying Micah. We got to worry about paying Trevon Diggs. We got to worry about paying CD. We could probably win with all of these guys if we just didn't have to pay Dak. So, I think it's just always setting up a scapegoat. I feel like they lucked into Dak, mentioned, and so, he didn't want to pay him at first, all this stuff. He felt like he had to. I think it's just they get attached to their guys, and Dak is not necessarily a Steven guy at the end of the day.
Mary, let me cross-examine you real quick.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point.
No, go ahead.
That's a great point because the one thing I said, even like last year, the difference between Romo and Dak is Romo was the nachos and beers guy with them. Named some kids even after the certain people. Dak was never that guy with them. Fair enough. Go right ahead. Get that cross-examine in.
Yeah. So, Mary, my question to you is it troubling, concerning? Let me change the verbiage. Is it a big deal, small deal, or no deal that the Jones organizational front office standpoint is it's the quarterback's job to elevate the roster we gave you, and not the Jones organizational viewpoint is it's Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, and Mike McCarthy's job to elevate the players that we gave them? Does that matter to you? Is that a big deal, no deal, or?
It's a huge deal because we've seen across the league how much personnel matters, no matter who you are as a QB.
Right.
And even just, it's not even just the coach's responsibility either. Some guys are just a guy. We talked about Dennis Houston and how he shouldn't be making the team, and let alone be active for game one. You can't be mad at him because he's just going to be who he is. You got to be mad at the guys that put him in the position to begin with. Same thing with Noah Brown. Noah Brown has been consistently his whole time here been like a 4 or 5 receiver. He's gotten passed up multiple times by other guys because he's nothing special. Why is it that he's all of a sudden good enough to be a number 2? Doesn't make sense. You can't expect a guy to be who he isn't. That's not their fault.
Right.
So,
don't blame
and a coach can't, you want me to bake a cake, but you don't give me any ingredients. Like, same thing with Dak. Like, at some point, they have to accept responsibility, and they think that they can just get rid of, a great route runner in Amari Cooper who did help our offense tremendously, and not really replace him. You think you can not even give CD any other wide receivers that have NFL-wide experience, and he's going to just go out there and just run all over the place? Like, you can't do that. Like, it's no other team in the NFL thinks like that. No other team in the NFL actively gets worse every offseason. No one does that.
Yeah.
There's this quote out there, right? when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
When Jerry Jones told us last week, before the first game of the season, when everybody else is, best shape of our lives, we're ready for the season, blah, blah, blah. When Jerry Jones tells the media they're talking about us, that's what's important to us. He told you.
Yeah.
He told you. Believe him.
Mhm.
That's not media. That's not content creators drawing
Yeah.
up this thing. That's Jerry Jones, the owner, CEO, president, whatever his titles are within the organization. We have them talking about us. We have them in their minds. That's what's important to us. We're doing our job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to chime in because Robert said, call me crazy, but I can't wait for Dallas to move on from Dak so he can go win a Super Bowl elsewhere. I've been waiting for somebody to make this comment because before Dak got drafted to Dallas, like the last 4 or 5 years with Romo, he was dragging us to 8-8. If he wasn't here, we were not been 8-8 by any stretch. I literally said the same thing about Romo because I'm like, y'all hate him. I always said Romo will be much more loved once he leaves than he's ever here.
Right.
And I was like, if he
That's
left
really
and went
what
somewhere
happened.
else, things would happen. And we're watching history repeat itself with Dak now. He just said it. It's Steven. I'm banging the table over here. I'm sorry.
You think
Yeah.
Detroit wouldn't love to have Dak Prescott right now instead of Jared Goff? You think
Yeah.
Washington Commanders wouldn't love to have Dak Prescott over Wentz right now? Colts, Matt Ryan, over, like
We saw
it's
mock-up of Dak in an Eagles uniform, a Giants uniform, and a Commanders uniform. They weren't Commanders at the time, but still, you get the point.
Yeah.
All three of our division rivals say Dak's the best quarterback in the division. All three of our division rivals say Dak's a top 10 to 12 quarterback or whatever they say. All three of the division rivals say we would love to have Dak on our team. Jerry Jones, there's only so much pie because of Dak. Just saying, when people
Doesn't make sense.
show you who they are, believe them.
Listen,
I bet New Orleans would rather have him over Jameis. Like, it's just so many teams that are just trying to really they feel like they have good pieces. They make moves in free agency, and they would love to feel like, okay, we just need this one more piece in a quarterback that we think is going to be consistent. And we're the only team that has a QB that is very consistent, and not even just that. We're talking about off the field. We're talking about as a leader. In every aspect that you would want a franchise QB to be, he has been that. So it's like, a team would jump at that. And if he went somewhere else, they wouldn't be stupid enough to make his offense actively worse. They wouldn't do that because that doesn't make any sense to anybody except for Steven and Jerry Jones.
My thing was when Dak went down with the injury in 19, that's when we've all witnessed how much he's loved by the fan base, by a lot of celebrities, all over social media. Get well, Dak. We miss you for X, Y, and Z. As a young man, he has faced a lot of adversity, and he faces them. He doesn't run away from them, go around them. He doesn't pay anybody to deal with them. He deals with them. We all face a lot of different things in our personal lives. And when we look at Dak Prescott, that's a role model. That's a mentor. That's everything. That's pretty much everything. He's the type of person you want to be like, how to face certain things. And we've seen throughout his whole career. He's come back. He has come back. And my whole thing is just a shame that even part of our fan base, especially the ones who were throwing trash at the game, you're not a fan. You're just a trashy person who wearing a Cowboy jersey. My whole thing is we don't deserve that. Dak saved the franchise from making a mistake at quarterback. We've never drafted a good quarterback after Troy Aikman.
Right.
It was pretty much undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
Quincy Carter was a second-round pick. Tony Banks, a free agent quarterback, at least after Quincy Carter's start. We grabbed Chad Hennessy from Michigan. We back up to Tom Brady. He played baseball. That didn't work out. Chad Hutchinson, Arkansas, didn't play. Didn't play well at all.
Drew Henson.
Drew Henson. Yeah, okay. So we went through, and again, if you wasn't around during those Cowboys time, I know me, BJ, I know P.O., Mary was. those were dark time of years after years.
Man, we had Ryan Leaf start.
Oh
we
my,
had Ryan
Leaf.
Leaf start a Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, those are very dark times of being a Cowboy fan. After that championship run in the 90s, once it went downhill, we actually saw Jerry Jones try to be the head coach and hire the staff around, which is bad. So my thing is this: we're gonna learn to love Dak.
Yeah.
Once he's not here. Why?
But even on top of that, the simple fact that we'll put the cap on this from week one, and we'll close it down with this. Simply this is what we saw offensively is directly, unequivocally on Stephen Jones' head.
100%.
Just what it is. And they stripped this team down. It didn't have to happen. So that's where we are. And we've came together. We've hugged it out. Cowboys Nation, Pick Six fam. We've hugged it out. I know I got a little balled up. I got a little worked up. Here we are. We're good. So let's get to some positives. We got 2 hats to give away. We got 2 questions. We're going to do 2 questions. If you win the cap, you get it embroidered, whatever. Lunatic's going to hook it up. We're making it happen. Does anybody have a question in mind? I know I have at least one. Does anybody have a trivia question to see who answers first for a hat real quick?
Can I? I'll give you the question in the private chat.
No, I just throw the question out there.
Let Spoon cook. Go ahead, Spoony.
Let Spoon cook. What's your question for the first hat? First hat on deck. When Spoon finishes the question, first correct answer gets the hat.
What jersey number did Jerry Jones wear in college football in Arkansas?
Ooh. Okay, say it again. Repeat it real quick.
I think I know this one.
What was Jerry Jones' jersey number at Arkansas in college football?
What's the number?
Spoony, is that right?
What's the number, Spoon?
Yep.
No, don't say the number yet. Don't say the number unless.
No, is that correct?
Yes.
What's correct?
No, incorrect. Excuse me. No, incorrect.
No, okay.
Close.
Okay. Is that correct? Is this correct?
No, incorrect.
Is this correct?
Oh, I know the other one.
Wait.
Yes.
Sam, let's go.
There it is. All right. Samuel. All right, Samuel. Lunatic. Load up with Samuel. Figure that out on that side. There it is right there. There's the pick. And
it was close.
he gets the person. Now, Sam, you are disqualified for the second hat. Okay? Link up with Lunatic for the first hat. You can't answer on the second hat. Mary, do you have possibly a question you want to ask for the second hat?
I'll let you take it.
Okay, well, no, Professor O. Because I always like to hear what Professor O brings out the bag. If he might have one. I feel like he might have one. Oh, you have one?
I do, but I feel like I always ask questions. I want you to go next.
No,
you said you had one. No, we have
it's okay.
giveaways. Spoony gave one.
I want to hear yours.
No, I'll defer for it.
No, okay.
Because I have a giveaway we have to do too. Because last week when we had Jay Tuck on the show last Wednesday, Jay Tuck made what I thought was a preposterous prediction that Brett Maher was going to be an important part of our game plan. Not a game plan, but an important part of our game against the Bucs, and he was our leading scorer. And I said, if Jay Tuck's right, if Maher is a big influence in our game, because we were talking about Greg Zuerlein in the previous matchup, I said I will give away a CFO Sports shirt. So I have to save mine. So you go ahead and ask yours for the hat, and I got the shirt.
Yowzer! Wow, I hate that I missed that.
Yeah,
that sounds like a fun time. All right, so for question 2 for hat number 2, everybody get ready here for question in hat number 2. My question is simply, who was the offensive coordinator whenever the Cowboys won their first Super Bowl?
Ooh. That's way before my time.
Come on, chat.
Killing more dad.
What?
That's funny.
I love it, Maxwell.
That's really funny.
Marty?
Wait. Hit it to me.
Mike Marty?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes? Are you sure?
No, I'm lying.
No? Okay, just kidding.
Oh, Martz. Changed it.
Stephen White missed the question. Say it one more time.
All right. The Cowboys.
Somebody said a ginger.
Can I answer it or no?
No, you can't answer it.
Do you know it, Spoon? Hold on.
No,
Spoon,
Spoony, don't answer it.
I have a backup question. Do you know it, Spoon?
Yeah, I know what it is. I put it in the private chat.
Put it in the private chat, Spoon.
Hilarious.
Let me see if Spoon knows it real quick. Let me see.
Right, right here, hold on.
Let me see if Spoon knows it real quick.
Here we go. How about Mario?
No, well, no, not the first ever. Look at you.
How about this one? This is the first time we
I
saw
got
it.
it.
Look at you, Spoon. Look at you.
There you go.
Look at you. Look at
How
you.
about this?
But
It's
no,
Ethan Allen,
he was. Look, he was close.
Can I give it?
No. He's
No,
right.
no
He's
hint.
right. No. Spoonie was close, but that's the answer.
Okay,
That's the
man.
answer right there.
All right.
Can we give it to the Wrench Squad though? Is that fair?
Yeah, we can.
All right. TC, yes, Jim Myers. For those that don't know about the one and only Jim Myers, he was here for a good time and not a long time, ladies and gentlemen. He was the offensive coordinator. The time that he was here, the Cowboys were 39-17. From 73 to 76, which would include a Super Bowl win.
Super Bowl.
Boom.
Nice.
And then he moved on. So TC, link up, make it do what it do. You know, I absolutely do love the ginger though from Sam. I absolutely do love
Kellymore's
that.
dad was funny. That was very good.
Yeah, I mean, look. Yes, Landry did own the offense. We know he invented the shotgun and all these different things. You're not wrong there, but he wasn't quote unquote the offensive coordinator. Hence why I asked about the offensive coordinator.
All right, mine's easy. And again, shout out to friend of the show.
I mean, we got two hats.
That's all we can do, right? Yeah.
Are we giving away two hats? Are we giving away something else?
Yes. So last Wednesday, our guy, friend of the show, J Tuck, CFO Sports.
Oh, we're giving the shirt away. Okay.
Mentioned he thought that Maher was going to be a big part of the game, and here I am, silly old me, thinking that our offense is going to light it up and put up points like we did the previous year. The number one offense rolling in. I knew we had Collins out. I knew we had Tyron Smith out. I knew we had Amari Cooper out. But still, for some reason, I thought we're still going to light up the scoreboard. There's no way in the world that Maher is an important part of our scoring, and he was our only person that scored. So I have to honor my commitment to J Tuck and people that watched last Wednesday. So you guys know how I feel about Rowdy. I hate Rowdy with a passion. Like, it is a big, like, I don't say it jokingly. Like, I genuinely despise this guy. This thing. He's not even a person. He's a caricature. He's whatever. I don't like him. This may not be completely fair for the younger fan base, but I feel like you should know this. What was the Cowboys mascot before Rowdy?
Shut up, Spoon. Shush.
Winner of this will get a shirt from CFO Sports. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out.
I mean, he might have whistled. Maybe. Boom.
Stephen White.
There it is.
Stephen White. Got it.
Boom. There it is.
We should hire Rowdy out to follow. So, funny story here. When I was going to the draft, Spoonie messed up and let me know. But Spoonie and Nix were conspiring because Spoonie and I were going to be at the draft together. We're sharing a hotel room, 2 beds. To be clear, after this,
yes, 2 beds.
Ours were 2. Hold on.
Ours were 2 beds too. Wait a minute.
We were 2 beds too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the inner circle. Now, you planted yourself here.
Nothing happened in the room. It was the lobby.
I mean, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Water.
Wait. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas is what I always heard. I never been there. Is that what they say?
I'm just saying. So, Spoonie was going to get a Rowdy stuffed animal, a Rowdy hat, a Rowdy mask, or something to plant on me while I'm asleep. Just so Twitter has thoughts about me being, this closet Rowdy fan. But luckily, Spoonie spilled the beans ahead of time because that would have been like a deal breaker. I would have left it. It was a fun season, but I'm out, man.
I'll be honest, man. Y'all had more shenanigans going on in y'all's hotel room than we did. I'm just.
There's no
Nothing happened in the hotel room. You got some ice, water from the lobby, then the machine was messed up.
Wait.
That's what happened.
That's what you need
Yeah, I
for the
slept
ice.
in my
There was
car.
no lobby.
How about that? I
There-
slept in
okay.
my car.
To be
I'm
clear,
through
there
here.
were no hotel
Yeah.
room or lobby or any
Yeah.
shenanigans.
No,
whatsoever.
you just putting stuffed animals on your pillow. I know.
I ain't getting no.
Hey, no, low key,
Anyways,
low
yes,
key.
Stephen White, you got it right. I'm gonna put the
Yeah.
link in the chat real quick. Go ahead and pick out a shirt,
yeah.
hoodie, whatever you want, and DM me or chat me or
Hey,
whatever. and I'll take care of it.
what's the link? They drop the link in there for him.
Yeah,
on
I'm pulling up right now.
Sports? I forgot. Yeah, drop the link there. So we get with the 2 hats, and when y'all get with our guy, when you get with our guy Lunatic, let him know what you want embroidered on the side. He's going to hook that up as well, whatever player signature and everything that you want. Make sure you hook that up, and we'll get out of here on this. We're running a little bit late tonight. I know my guy O's got to go soon, so we already talked with Flemlo, man. If y'all missed it, rewind it when we get up out of here and go check it out, man. Shout out to him. Appreciate him coming through and rocking with us. And we talked about the Bengals and what's going on there. Quickly here, you don't have to give a score. I don't want to do that. Where the Cowboys are in flux and everything else. So Eddie, I'm gonna run a space after this for sure. Simply this: give me your percentage of what you think or where you think the Cowboys can win. What's the percentage, 0 to 100, that the Cowboys can beat the Bengals? No scores needed. No, if they're going to win or not. Like, what is your percentage of how much you believe they can win this game against the Bengals at home on Sunday? And everybody in the chat, by all means, drop whatever you have for the score and everything else, or your percentage even. Spoonie, your percentage of the Cowboys being able to beat the Bengals.
I'm gonna give it 80%.
80?
I'm gonna give it 80% because I'm a passionate guy, and for what Michael Parsons did, what Zeke did, was for me set the tone. I believe that this team is gonna come out giving 150%. I understand it's the coaching staff and everything, but I think this defense is really gonna get after it. A lot of times, when Michael Parsons came out and said it's gonna, and with Skip and Shannon, that's their opinions. It trickles down to that team, and they're all gonna it's the attitude of, you want to talk about it, we're gonna give you something to talk about next week. I really believe they're gonna come out and it may not be it's not gonna be a blowout, whatever, but I think they're gonna win this game 80%.
80%. Mary, your percentage of the Cowboys winning this game?
7.5%.
Well, that would be a touchdown, right? So there's that. But okay, 7.5. 0. Are you going to watch the game?
Of course.
Okay.
Fair.
7.5. All right. What's in the NYC water? Brooklyn's in the house. Professor
They've
O.
shown me nothing like on offense. I don't believe it's going to get better. I don't believe they're going to make any changes. The only thing that saves us is defense, and they can't carry the whole load. So, yeah.
Man, no. Okay, Professor O, your percentage of the Cowboys winning against the Bengals?
All right, so looking at it from trying to remove myself from the fan equation and looking at it just from a realistic standpoint, I know that Vegas favors the home team by 3 points roughly, just because that's what they do. The home team typically wins in the NFL. I'm also then factoring in that we have Cooper Rush, and I'm factoring in that we have – so best case scenario, we'll say Vegas has us as a 51 or 52% chance of winning. And I'm factoring in the Cooper Rush equation. I'm looking at our left guard situation. I'm looking at not having our green dot. I'm looking at, what the injury status looks like. I can't go 0% because I know that things like Appalachian State upsetting Michigan and Appalachian State winning last week against Texas A&M, like stuff. Football is crazy any given Sunday. So
let's say Texas A&M.
What'd you say?
You said Michigan, Texas A&M.
No, they upset Michigan several years
Oh,
back.
just
and
okay,
then
yeah,
okay,
yeah. Gotcha.
I can't go 0% or 5% because crazy things happen in the NFL all the time, and we're at home. So I'm gonna go like 35%. 35%.
Well, I think I have to keep my same energy. I think it's what the young people say. Yeah, you got to keep the same energy. And anytime Spoon's on one side of the equation with a percentage, I go to the polar opposite. So
That's true.
if Spoonie's at 80, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at negative 80. I mean, it hasn't failed me yet. Okay, I'm just saying, whatever Spoon picks a percentage, I go the complete opposite. It's worked so far. I don't like the fact that this works negatively towards the Cowboys, but he said 80. I gotta go negative 80. It's what I've learned doing content here, going on our 4th year now with my guy Spoon. But it just really comes down to this defense. Here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. There's an opportunity here. We kind of understand what Micah is, and we understand the hype and what's happening, and two sacks and 2 tackles for loss and everything else. The one thing I want to be clear about going into this game, with everything that is happening, Micah has a rare opportunity to be where he is currently, and if they win this game, I think solely, I believe, if they win this game, it is ultimately completely no other reason than Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fine.
Boy, that bumps into another level. And the fringe talk last year of Lawrence Taylor-esque, he starts ramping up into that realm. So, no, I don't believe they're going to win this game. But what I am going to reserve, I always reserve space for greatness. And I don't know what Parsons is going to be. I talked about it a ton this offseason. I said, y'all understand, Parsons is going to year 2. He didn't even play his last year in college. And you saw what he did last year. First player ever, since they recorded sacks. 15 sacks in 17 games, right? That's where he is currently. Mm-hmm. So there is a rare opportunity here for this kind of guy and how Dan Quinn uses him. If he's able to go up the board here and do that and make that happen, man, we're having a different conversation. Yeah. But that's the one only hope for me that I look at this team to have an opportunity, because it goes back to I don't believe in Kellen Moore's offense. I'm sorry. I gave him all the leeway during the offseason. Hey, he hasn't made a ceiling. There's opportunity. Oh, Mike McCarthy's going to help him. All these different things. And after Sunday night, I'm like, nah, I'm done. I've watched enough tape now too. Between now and then, I still need to go through some. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. So it's literally going to be on can Micah do it, which is a crazy conundrum, because the entire time that DeMarcus Ware was here, we never said, hey, we have to win a game if DeMarcus Ware can win the game for us. It never happened. Not that I remember. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. So yeah, I'm going to leave the space for Micah Parsons to show up, and I'm hearing his press conferences and what he's doing and how he's operating to see what that happens, and him elevate, as we talk about Dak elevating people on the offense, him elevating because there's adequate depth in NFL players on the defensive side of the ball to get there. Man, offensively, man, hey, look, here's what I'm going to tell y'all. Here's my hope, and I'm grasping at straws here. Patrick Nosey Walker took a picture today, front and back, and it was Cooper Rush and Will Grier running out. He took the front of him running out, and he took the back of him running out. And he posted QB1. And then he put in quotations, which one, and with a dash U. Then he put in quotations, yes, and with the space, me. And I said, what are you trying to tell me? Are you telling me something maybe so we don't know? Are the Cowboys going to get a little tricky here? And it's Cooper Rush, and then you show up on Sunday. Mary, I'm right there with you, because I don't think they would do that.
They can't hold water like that.
You're not wrong.
They can't keep secrets like that.
I feel you, but the fact that No C did it in that realm, I'm like, would it be Will Grier coming out on Sunday? And I think our percentages, to me, I believe that. Y'all can say no, but I think if Grier was the guy starting Sunday, our percentages would change.
Yeah.
You know, so
Nix and I had a chat earlier this week, and I brought up a point to him. It's kind of funny because when you ask Cowboys fans why Cooper Rush over Grier, you hear, well, he has the experience. Grier has started more games than Cooper Rush. Grier has thrown more passes in an NFL game than Cooper Rush. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny.
Well, for the Cowboys, I mean, I talked about this before. It's all about, he won in Minnesota for us, and he has been in the system. That's how they operate. and I don't think that's going to change.
Hey, but Mary, remember in Minnesota, oh, it's going to be Dak. Oh, he's going out there. He's traveling. He's out there in pregame. And then magically it turned into Rush.
Yeah. I mean, I get
So
that, but
for one game, maybe they would do that. But we'll see. But again, yeah, Greer High View, I love it.
I love
think we
that.
all feel better about Greer for sure. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
100%.
we're going to get up out of here. We actually ran a little bit late tonight. Appreciate y'all staying with us as we
Can
run
we give
late.
our
Shout out to
real
our
quick?
guy.
Sorry, can we give our score predictions?
Oh, you want to do score predictions? Oh, I was just, I didn't want to put you on the table. But
I'm good,
sure,
man.
sure, go for it. What's the score?
All right, so we scored 3 points last week. I do think we hit double digits. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 24-13. Seems doable. So I'm gonna go 24-13 Bengals.
Okay. Real quick, Mary, you want to put a score out there? I know you're not really
21-10 Bengals.
All right. Spoony.
27-20 Dallas.
All right.
No.
So 24-3 Dallas. I mean 24-3 Bengals.
If we score 3 points back-to-back weeks, I can't
Hey,
justify it. I
Hey,
can't
look,
argue
look.
it.
How about this? The only way to score a touchdown if it's a defense or special team.
Well, that's why
Is
I
it-
gave
is it
him.
gonna
That's why I
happen?
gave him 10 points. I gave
That's why I gave him
because
20.
of that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I have
I gave
two
him
defensive
10
scores.
because of that. Oh no,
See,
that's not.
look, I'll be honest
that's
with y'all.
just crazy.
I'll be honest with y'all though. I don't think because I've seen 40 burgers and Cowboys getting beat, all this thing. I'm like, low key though, like they just held Tom Brady and them to 19. I don't think it's going to happen that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
I don't think they'll score that much. Is what I mean.
No.
I think they get 20. Is where I'm at. I think the Bengals will get 20. I don't think the Cowboys can outscore them though. Man, if they do, man, salute and whatever. But how it's currently constituted, man, I just don't see it. But I think the Cowboys can definitely hold them underneath 24 points. I think they can. I think the defense can definitely do that.
Knowing the way that the offense is played, like this is not that you have to give this guy a green light, but this is the week. If I'm Al Harris, I'm talking to Hooker, talking to Brown, talking to Diggs. I'm saying jump every route you can. You feel like you have a chance. Burrow throws interceptions when he's pressured. He's already talked about Micah. We know their offensive line's an issue for them right now. Be as aggressive as possible because we need to get as many takeovers as possible. And if I'm Bones Fossil, I'm telling Turpin, I don't care how deep the ball's kicked, return it out. We need to take the shot. Like we need a chance. If you think there's a lane or any possibility you can return it, run it out because we need to get our offense the ball in scoring position or good starting position because last week we were net negative 12 yards in starting field differential, and that stuff matters. So, yeah,
big facts. So, obviously, we'll be tuned in. And, of course, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, space after this for sure. And, of course, Friday, I'm back. I'm not on vacation no more. I know I'm a little bit tanner and everything else. So, we definitely have the happy hour space on Friday. And, of course, the Freestyle Friday's back in full effect. My people held it down. And I went back and watched it as a fun time. I'm excited to be back on the Freestyle Friday show after missing. So I'm excited to get back in the paint and have a good time. So make sure y'all tuned in and do that. And man, then we'll talk a little more Bengals come Friday, and maybe we'll feel a little bit better. Maybe our percentage will go from negative 80 and not marrying spoons. We'll see. With that being said,
Matt's was higher than mine. His was 35%. I said 7.5. So.
But even with my 35, I only gave them 3 more points than you did. So
yeah,
it wasn't a big difference there.
Big facts. With that being said, man, y'all have a blessed evening. We'll catch y'all on Friday. And of course, wait. What did I forget to do here? Wait. Oh, yeah, I appreciate Greg is there. Boom. Yeah, there you go. Twitter, right there. You can follow us on Twitter. You ain't follow us on Twitter yet? Come over there. Mary with the spicy tweets today, which was fire as well too. So y'all be safe, peace, and we'll catch you on the flip side.